The ad hoc committee members have started their investigation from Paul O'Sullivan. So in this video, you will hear the questions Julius Malema was asking Paul O'Sullivan to get more information. I don't want to say much concerning this. Hear it, or you will see the interaction, the questions Julius Malema was asking Paul O'Sullivan, and the way Paul O'Sullivan is responding. Let's watch.
The absolute impression to me, when I looked at the presentation that he did, it gave the absolute impression to me that he was creating a red herring for the criminal activity that goes on in crime intelligence. And I think that is a fact, and it can be proven, and it will unroll when we see the criminal trial taking place of the 5 generals and 2 brigadiers from crime intelligence, because I believe what he was effectively doing, and I have no axe to grind for any of the generals in the police, whether it's Sabir or whoever. I have no axe to grind. But the reality of it, that media conference was not only dishonest, it was divisive, and it was intended to distract attention away from what's been going on in the police in KZN.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. 2 more questions. The one is, can you confirm how you obtained, or from who you obtained, the affidavit purportedly deposed to by Mr. Nangi, particularly given that the specific affidavit appears to be identical in substance and form to the affidavit previously circulated by General Sonona to Kat Matlala?
Okay, so I don't know General Sonona, and the first I heard about Kat Matlala was what I saw in the media. But what I did see last year was a story in the media. I think it's included in my statement, and I can't refer to the paragraph right now, but I've attached a copy of the media article, and I think it was Sunday World. I can't remember which. I think it was Sunday World. And when I saw this article, it piqued my interest. Now, you know, most journalists, they write articles based on what they have in front of them. And if you can get a trusted relationship with a journalist, you can get them to supply you with some information. So I found the journalist in question, and I said to him, I'd like to investigate this a little bit further. And the reason I wanted to investigate it further, Chairman, is because one of the people named there is a Colonel Dawood. And that's the same Colonel Dawood that kidnapped a member of my staff. And it's the same Colonel Dawood that was involved in taking my cell phone unlawfully, which Pashlani then read out in Parliament. And it's the same Colonel Dawood that threatened to assault me. So I realized that there's somehow a link there. So I then asked that journalist, I would like to investigate this matter a lot further. Would you be kind enough to share with me the affidavit? I first of all phoned Ricardo Angelico or Angelo or something, the attorney, because his name was mentioned in the article. So I tracked him down and I asked him, can you share that affidavit with me? He said, let me check with my client. He checked with his client, he phoned me back, he said, Paul, the client doesn't want you to see it. So then I got the journalist to supply it. After I got it, I then phoned the attorney again. I said, listen, I've got it, but I'd like to actually meet face to face with your client, because there's a few issues I have with this affidavit, and I'd like to just unpack it. And he said, let me come back to you. And he came back to me and he said to me, it seems to me that the client doesn't want to see you. I then formed the opinion, Chairman, that some parts of that affidavit were probably truthful and some of it probably not. But I wanted to get to the bottom of those aspects of it that I was interested in, which was what he referred to in his affidavit as the torture and the assaults that took place at some farm somewhere in KZN in front of General Mkhwanazi, where General Mkhwanazi was alleged to have made comments. And then the tape recording of the wife of Nangi or Nanji, I don't know how you say it, the tape recording, which was included in the affidavit, of how Dawood phoned this woman, and she tape recorded the call, and Dawood is saying to her, if we don't get the truth out of you, we're gonna chop your husband up and send him back to you in a cardboard box. So that was what I wanted to drill down into. I had no axe to grind for Nanji. I've never met him, spoken to his lawyer. If somebody asked for my personal opinion would probably be that, you know, the truth is there, but there's some fabrication stuff there. He denies being involved in certain events, but I would imagine if the police had gone about it the correct way, instead of torturing him and assaulting him, they might well have had a conviction by now, but that's not the way they went about it. So they poisoned their own well.
Then, in terms of policy, if you were to have a magic wand and you could tackle the organized crime crisis being run from inside SAPS, sadly, in some cases, 2 or 3 things that you would kick off with to try and resolve this?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really great question, and I want to refer quickly, if I can, to paragraph 171 and it's not long, so I can just read it out. Bless you. I said there's only one, sorry for the typo, there's only one way to fix it. The question is, how can the criminal justice system be fixed? I said there's only one way to fix it. It needs a zero tolerance campaign together with a change in legislation. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity to present to this committee my ideas, because I'm not a legislator, you guys are. Together with a change in legislation, so that any police officer or prosecution official, no matter the rank, is immediately and automatically suspended following being arrested or charged with any offense involving dishonesty. And I'm particular about offense involving dishonesty, because sometimes they might be arrested for drink driving or, and I'm not saying that that should be condoned, but it shouldn't stop a person doing it. And then I said, any employee in the CJS, that's the criminal justice system, convicted of any offense involving dishonesty should be automatically dismissed. And that would require a change in the legislation. Then I'm also saying probative tests should be carried out on all candidates for senior appointments in the criminal justice system. There's no probative tests being done. If they did probative tests, Masamolo wouldn't be chief of police today. Pashlani would have never been chief of police. You know, they need to do these probative tests. And I'm saying we need to develop the law in South Africa, the common law offense of abuse of public office, because it is a common law offense. There's no act. So it's a common law offense. Believe it or not, there's lots of offenses which are common law, and they've been developed through trials and appeals and stuff like that. It's time we woke up in South Africa and developed the common law offense of abuse of public office. Because overseas, if you abuse public office, you go to prison. In this country, you get nothing. You might get fired if you're unlucky. But the chances are you can abuse your office and carry on working. And then if you start sending people to prison for abusing public office, it's going to send out a very clear signal. And I think I also said that, and it's probably not mentioned here, that it should be a criminal offense for any senior police official to ignore a DPCI judge report. And I've included in my submission 2 DPCI judge reports with scathing attacks on generals in the police. And nothing happened to any of them. They were covered up, they were protected. And I'm saying that should be a criminal offense. DPCI judge recommended disciplinary proceedings. Nothing happened. The counting officer of the police should have been criminally charged for that. Those generals could have been gone. And if you get rid of people out of the police with bad ethics, you're going to clean up the police. And you don't start at the bottom, you start at the top and work your way down. And if we could do that in South Africa, we would turn the ship around, and we will get the rule of law back in South Africa. You know, I talked to some really, really good cops, career policemen, fantastic, the salt of the earth. And they feel so betrayed by senior police management. And if we can get the stability back into the police and get the ethics back into the police. Once upon a time, a policeman was proud to be a policeman. Now they keep quiet about it because they're seen as a scum of the earth. For what? Because 5 or 10% of their leaders are corrupt. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sikhosana. (11:43).
Pardon me?
Thank you, Chair. I was listening to our witness lecturing us how to run this country, that overseas, this is what they are doing. Some of us, Mr. O'Sullivan, we don't have dual citizenship. We are South Africans. Our DNA, which runs in our blood and vein, we are not Europeans. We are not settlers in this country. And it's unacceptable for you to lecture us about how things should be run in this country. You've been doing this for many years, unabated, unprovoked. And I'm not even sure whether, because your journalists, which you say there's good journalists, they give you news. I guess we are talking about your Marian, who's the Marian Tham, Karen Morgan, Basson, the Stratcom journalists who are misleading you. But let's start here, Mr. O'Sullivan. Are you the same Paul O'Sullivan who was born on February 17, 1953, or you were born in August 1955?
Chairman, I was born on the 26th of August 1955.
Thank you. Now,
sorry, let me finish.
No, I'm fine. Remember, we are responding on me.
What I cannot accept is a 30-second question or 10-second question preceded by a 5-minute lecture where you defame me. I have never, ever lectured. I was asked a question and I answered the question. That's not a lecture.
No, you were lecturing us.
We really need to keep our decorum here, because if you're going to sit there and defame me and lecture me, I will respond accordingly.
No, I will as well. I mean, you made an interview on NCA. You said that we must lick our asses. You said that on NCA, you using your language.
Sorry, I said what?
We must lick our asses.
I must eat your what?
You must hear again. I think those hearing devices are not doing justice to you. You said on NCA that we must lick our asses.
Eat your asses?
Lick our asses.
Who said that?
You.
Rubbish.
Yeah, let me tell you, for maybe you've forgotten. We are going to play that video here.
Okay.
Yes. I think we'll play it at the end. I can tell you now, you are going even not to disclose. You said as well, when you wrote, to say that you don't want to be interviewed by MK Party, EFF, and Action SA. Am I right?
Chairman, those were, shall we call it, interactions that took place before I decided to come and testify. And those interactions were supposed to point out that, by the way, I'm not happy to be interrogated by people who belong to a party formed from what I consider to be a criminal syndicate.
Yeah, now, hence I'm saying that your attitude, the way you behave like, you know, you are talking to your, I'm not sure, I don't even say to your workers. We are members of parliament here. Every 400 member in this house is a member of parliament. You can't dictate who you want to speak to. You can't say to us that we are not capable of getting and probing you like any other witness. We are not a special person here.
Now, I don't know what your question, you're making statements. Chairman, the reality of the situation is the MKP went on record before I came here to give evidence, insulting me and defaming me. So, whatever they may do in this house, they have privilege for. But what they don't have privilege for is insulting me and defaming me on social media, and they become experts at it. And the reason they're doing it is because, and this is the reason why I've asked the Mad Langer Commission to investigate certain members of this committee for actually being involved in protecting criminals in the criminal justice system.
Chair, I'm going to say this. Paul O'Sullivan has been doing this for many years. And as members of parliament, what we are telling me now, you are telling about members of the MK, I don't know where, or members of this parliament. You must give me a name and not just cast aspersion. You must say who has done so here. But be that as it may, I'm going to start now. You went to Czech Republic with Brigadier Giniza. Is it true?
I went with Brigadier Giniza and a prosecutor. I can't remember the name of the prosecutor now.
Who paid for that trip?
I paid for the trip.
Don't you think that's you are interfering with the work of the police?
Definitely not. In fact, I can explain it. And when you get there, what you're not going to do, and I've warned you about this before.
No, Chair.
You're not going to make allegations and
Chair,
not allow me to answer.
Chair.
I'm not going to complete my answer like this. Chairman,
I haven't said anything.
the inference is, he's trying to make an inference that it was
Chair.
improper. And I want to give an explanation, and I will give that explanation, Chairman.
Chair,
Wait, both.
with your indulgence, I've asked a question. I need an answer, period.
My answer is very simple.
Wait, both of you. Wait, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. Wait, Honorable Sikhosana. You know, the two of you had a frenetic start. The manner in which your conversation started, it started with sparks flying. And it can never be a way to sustain a conversation. It can't be. Can you calm down? Both of you, calm down and have a conversation. He asked you a question about Brigadier Giniza. And is it Brigadier or General Giniza? Yes, and somebody, you said you paid for them.
And then I was told, do you not think this is interfering in the work of the police?
Yeah,
and that's what I'm responding to, Chairman.
No, then there was a follow-up question, because we are also investigating public interference in the work of the SAPS. He asked you that question, following up on the question that he earlier put to you.
Yeah.
So
that's what I tried to
So
answer.
now it's time for you
to answer that.
to answer. Don't breathe heavily on each other's necks.
No, absolutely
Yes.
not. So we need to have a little bit of context, though, because what had happened at the time, this related to an investigation into a criminal enterprise being run by Mr. Radovan Krejcir. And Mr. Radovan Krejcir, we have the information, how many people have been murdered, how many crimes have been committed, the drug cartel he was running, all the rest of it. I brought that case to the police. The police didn't find out about it accidentally. I brought that case to the police. This man was running a criminal empire out of a pawn shop in Bedford View. People's homes were getting robbed, people were getting murdered. So I came to the police and I laid it all out. I also went to see Brigadier Ganindo. Why? Because Brigadier Ganindo...
Point of order, Chair, please.
Brigadier Ganindo was outside my house on the morning that Radovan Krejcir tried to kill me. And there was an attempt to murder me. That was on the 9th of January 2014. I then sat down with the police and I explained to them what needed to be done. They applied for permission to go and interview a witness who I had identified in Prague, in the Czech Republic. I'd flown to Prague myself at my own expense, and I'd been able to provide the outline of the statement this witness would make. I then went back.
Chair,
I got them
point of order, Chair.
I got them to agree to come to the Czech Republic. They applied for the funding, and the funding was only granted for them to travel to London.
Chair, point of order, Chair. Please.
I need to finish, please.
No,
and I'm nearly
Chair,
there.
it's 10 minutes. He's explaining one thing, Chair. Please.
No.
I don't have the luxury, Chair. I've asked whether you went with Kiniza, and he said so. I don't need anything further than that.
Let me tell you, Honorable Skos, it's you who is asking the witness questions. You can't call a point of order because the witness is responding to the questions.
Chair,
Asking him.
Need an explanation. I wanted he gave me an answer that he went with Kiniza and somebody else.
What you need to do is, where you get satisfied, just inform him that...
He is refusing, Chair. I said I'm fine with the answer.
I'm nearly finished, Chairman. No. I would have been finished if you hadn't have interrupted.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Chair, you must stop. When I'm saying I'm satisfied, I'm okay, Chair.
Yeah,
I'm the one who's asking the. If I'm not satisfied, I'm going to really ask again. But I'm fine. He confirmed that he went with a Brigadier Kiniza and a prosecutor or whatever. And my follow-up question would be simple: that was illegal as well, because we have SSA in this country. Brigadier Kiniza as well. It was not right for him even to go to Czech Republic.
That is not true, Chairman. He's making statements now, not asking questions. And if I can finish answering my question, the member will fully understand what took place.
No, Chair, I'm happy with that answer. I'm fine.
It doesn't work like that. I'm not going to take any more questions until I can finish answering this question.
No, your arrogance is not going to help you with me. You can play that with other people, not with me.
Not playing a game.
No. Your white supremacy arrogance is not going to help you with me. You must answer what I'm asking you. You can't dictate to me.
What I'm not doing is...
No, we are doing exactly that. What we are doing to the security clusters. Dictating, you can dictate to them. No, not to members of parliament. Your arrogance is not going to help you.
Honorable Sikhosana.
If you are attacked, you are attacked.
Honorable Sikhosana, just a moment. Honorable Malema.
Chair, I will ask you to prevail over the witness, because he can't speak to members of parliament in a manner he's doing. To an extent that he even points fingers, and that he even interrupts you and get into exchange with members of parliament at this level, because all he needs to do is to answer the question, and if Honorable Sikhosana says I'm satisfied, he must plead with you that I need to expand on this point. I'm asking for indulgence, Chairperson. That's what a dignified visitor does. Not to come here and engage in a manner he's doing with us and try to threaten members of parliament and all of that. That's what gets some of these members of parliament agitated. There's a chairperson here. He's been invited here and is going to respect the chairperson and obey the rules of parliament. When he's not satisfied with a certain conduct, he gets his turn, which will not eat on members' time, and say, Chair, there's certain observation I want to make, which I'm not happy with. And he does that. Not to exchange with us and point fingers at us and tell us, some of you must be investigated by Madlanga, whatever. We've heard that nonsense before. It will never move us. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Sikhosana.
Thank you, Chair. Because of time, really it's unfortunate that our history as well, it pains us to see someone who display this arrogancy and think that we are just a piece of what he said. When he said, we must, we must lick her ass. Now, you said that all your activities which makes you to come into this country is because there was a rule of law. And I believe that during apartheid time, there was no rule of law at all. In the 80s, you said yourself that you moved from UK, where there is a rule of law, to apartheid South Africa, where there was no rule of law. Why?
Chairman, which paragraph did I say I moved here because there was a rule of law? Which paragraph of my statement? I said that the actions I've taken since I arrived here, which included joining the police and spending 36 years of my life in South Africa fighting crime, was to ensure that we have a rule of law. I never at any stage stated that I chose South Africa because there's a rule of law. And if the member can point that out to me, which paragraph he's referring to, I'd be grateful.
I will, at a later stage, I will. I've got it on your statement, right. Now, you have a business called O'Sullivan, Brosnan and Associate, am I right?
That's correct.
Who is your co-director in that company?
Ashley Brosnan.
When was he registered?
I don't have the records in front of me.
When did you start working with her?
I think she's been employed 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, but when was he registered as a quota? You don't know.
I have a secretary that handles all that.
So you don't know when she joined your company?
She joined my company 6 or 7 years ago.
Now, are you aware that she was not registered with SIRA? Yes, she is.
She applied to register with SIRA. She had problems with her fingerprints, but if you look at the legislation and the rules of SIRA, she's a certified fraud examiner, so she doesn't have to be registered with SIRA.
No, then why was she registering with SIRA if she was not supposed to?
Nobody said she's not supposed to. I prefer to have her registered, but she's not obliged to, because there's a ruling between the ACFE and SIRA that stipulates how certified fraud examiners do not need to register with SIRA.
No, I'm talking about your company. Remember, your company is registered with SIRA, am I right?
The company is,
yes. And yourself registered with SIRA?
I'm registered because I don't just do forensic investigations, I give security advice. And so, if you give security advice, the law requires that you are registered with SIRA.
Now, so you were comfortable that your court director is not registered with SIRA?
Correct.
So do you think that you were operating legally?
Correct.
Okay. Now, of all the countries in the world, why did you choose to invest in apartheid South Africa? And you break the intentional sanction and boycott of South Africa, then why?
Pardon? I didn't quite hear you.
I'm saying you chose to invest in South Africa. Am I right?
Correct.
And you know that
the way Paul O'Sullivan was responding to his questions, or responding for the questions he was asked of, looks somehow suspicious, and the members are not yet satisfied with the informations Paul O'Sullivan is giving them. Yes, more things are needed. So that is all I have to say. You can drop your own opinion concerning Paul O'Sullivan, his cooperative manner and everything he is saying in this video, and also the way Julius Malema and other ad hoc members was interrogating Paul O'Sullivan. What do you have to say? Drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching my videos, but most importantly, make sure that you subscribe on this channel. Turn on the bell so that when next I publish a new video, you will get notification to watch my new upcoming videos. See you in the next one. Bye.